Welcome back. Tensions in the Middle East continue to rise after Iran admitted to breaching its low-enriched uranium levels. That was part of the nuclear deal. Iran's Foreign Minister Javad Zarif tweeted a short time ago calling out world powers for not holding up their end of the 2015 nuclear agreement. Quote, Iran is committed to the full implementation of the JCPOA as long as the E3 EU implement their economic commitments. So moving forward, Iran will comply with its commitments under the JCPOA in exactly the same manner as the other countries have and will comply with theirs. Fair enough. Also, Zarif's comments come as Israel says it's preparing for military involvement in any escalation between Iran and the U.S. Israel also encouraged the Trump administration to press ahead with sanctions, vowing that it will never allow Iran to develop nuclear weapons. Iran's downing of a U.S. drone and its alleged attacks on 2 oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman have driven up fears of a military conflict in the Middle East. And rejoining us now is Harvard Law Professor Emeritus, Newsmax contributor, and a longtime advocate for the state of Israel, Alan Dershowitz. Professor Dershowitz is also the author of the great new book that's coming out this September called Defending Israel, the story of my relationship with my most challenging client. And that is saying a lot considering some of the clients you've had, Professor Dershowitz, but we'll leave it at that. You know, this admission by Iran that they've breached the 2015 nuclear deal, this is really a cry for attention, is it not? They are desperate to get out from underneath these sanctions. And I want to know if you think that Iran's whole foreign policy depends on goading the U.S. into some sort of military conflict.
No, I don't think they want a military conflict. I think they want to challenge President Trump. President Trump changed his mind, understandably. He didn't want to kill 150 people. And as a result of that, I think Iran has now posed new challenges. Remember, the Iran deal says, people always forget about this in the prologue, it says, Iran reaffirms that it will never, under any circumstances, seek to develop, acquire, or purchase nuclear weapons. And they've made that pledge over and over again. And of course, nobody believes it. And they will try to develop nuclear weapons. And as you said, Israel will never allow that to happen. I don't care who the prime minister of Israel is. It could have been the late Amos Oz, one of the great peaceniks of all time. No prime minister of Israel will permit a containment policy toward a nuclear Iran. In other words, all right, you get the nuclear arsenal and we'll deter you. It just won't happen. Israel, with or without the United States, will destroy the Iranian nuclear reactor before it becomes hot if it believes through its own intelligence that it's on the verge of developing a nuclear arsenal. So I think the world is better off if it prevents Iran from developing nuclear weapons than if it allows it to do so, because Israel on its own will make sure that doesn't happen. Israel destroyed Iraq's nuclear reactor, and that prevented Iraq from going and staying in Kuwait. Israel destroyed Syria's nuclear reactor. Imagine if Assad had nuclear bombs today, or if ISIS, which took control over the area where Syria was developing its Korean-made nuclear program, if they today had nuclear weapons. So Israel is not going to allow Iran to become another North Korea. It just simply won't happen, no matter what it takes, no matter how much treasure and blood. Israel will not allow Iran to develop nuclear weapons.
The bottom line, what we're hearing from Iran is a lot of bluster. And again, you know, their desire to get these economic sanctions lifted. All right, real quickly, we got about a minute and a half left. I did want to get
one more point about that. And that is Iran has been clearly encouraged by the Democratic candidates, virtually all of whom in the debates have refused to impose a red line. Several of the candidates said they would, under no circumstances, take military action against Iran. So I think Iran is hoping the Democrats win, and they will then have a president who has sworn to take no military action. It would give them tremendous freedom to go. I hope in the next debate, the Democratic candidates are all asked what your red line is. If Iran is on the verge of developing a nuclear arsenal, would you take military action together with other countries if possible, but alone if necessary? That's the key question, and nobody asked it to the Democratic candidates, and I'm very concerned about the answers they may give to that question.
I would like to get an answer to that question as well. All right, real quickly, we got about 30 seconds left. Just want to get your take real fast on Jared Kushner's trip to Bahrain in the Mideast peace plan, the White House Mideast peace plan. A lot of criticism for Kushner. Is it time to panic, or has this been a pretty good start?
It's a very good start. Beneath the surface, it's been very welcome. look, the Palestinians never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. They should have showed up. They should have gone there and expressed their views. There's a lot on the table for them. Palestinians won't get a state unless they negotiate directly with Israel. And this, I think, gives them an incentive to negotiate with Israel. So I strongly support the peace plan that's currently on the table and the one that will be put on the table after the Israeli elections.
And I know you worked with the White House a little bit on that peace plan. And perhaps the Palestinian strategy is the same as the Iranian strategy, hoping to wait out President Trump for a Democratic president that might give them a little bit more of what they want. We'll see what comes of it. Professor Dershowitz, as always, thank you for your time. Great insight as always. And a reminder to everybody to pre-order a copy of Professor Dershowitz's new book called Defending Israel, the Story of My Relationship with My Most Challenging Client. Pre-order it now. All right, coming up, former Vice President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, opens up about his struggle with addiction. Will his tell-all interview with a New Yorker take some of his pressure, or take some of the pressure off his father's 2020 campaign, or will it have the opposite effect? We'll discuss that next. You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest-growing cable news channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for breaking news and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, then share it with your friends. Remember, you can watch Newsmax TV live on YouTube. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.